Rabbitohs!
And welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video, I'll be giving you my round 27 tips. Very excited for this. This is the last round of the 2024 NRL season. It's crazy how quick this year's gone, but you know, it's also exciting coming into finals. We love finals footy. Always going to be good. All right, so round 26 was not a good week for me. I only got the Cowboys, the Dolphins, and the Knights correct. So 3 from 8, not good, but we move on. If I'm being honest with you though, I tip the Rabbitohs, always back my own team, but 74% of people agreed with me on the Bulldogs, 71% agreed with me on the Dragons, 95% of people agreed with me on the Sharkies, and 95% on the Roosters as well. So last week I went crazy and went a lot of the upsets. This week I went more straight and narrow, and unfortunately, didn't end up with a good week. But we move on, round 27. Let's get stuck into it with the Thursday night game between the Brisbane Broncos and the Melbourne Storm. I'm going to put this phone down here so it stops vibrating. So in the regular season games, Storm have actually won over the last 5 years 9 out of 9 games against the Broncos. They've got an amazing record at Suncorp Stadium. Storm winning 77% of games played there. Head-to-head between the two teams, they've played 56 games. Storm have won 41. Broncos have won 14. There's been 1 draw. Look, this is pretty straightforward. Storm pretty much going to be as close to full strength as possible. I reckon Munster might get a break this week due to the fact that they rested everybody else last week. So I do think Munster might get a rest. And I'm assuming Pappenhausen's probably not coming back until finals. So I would say that Wishy probably plays 5'8", and Sewer probably plays fullback. So look, even they could rest half the team, and I still think Storm win this game. I'm going to say Storm win this one by 16 before I see team list, because that could change. Again, I still think Storm win this game, even if they rested a lot of players as well. But yeah, I think with not resting anyone, I think it'll probably be about a 16 to 20 point win there for Melbourne. All right, the Spoon Bowl, West Tigers against the Sharkies. Over the last 5 years, they've played 9 games against each other. The Tigers have won 2. Eels have won 7. So Eels have had the wood over the Tigers. However, the Eels have been playing much better footy over the last few years. Since 1998, there's been 47 games played. Tigers have won 17. Eels have won 29. There's been 1 draw. At Campbelltown Stadium, the Eels have a 50% win rate. The Tigers only have a 41% win rate. So, yeah, not the best. The Tigers did beat them by a point in round 4 this year, but you know, this Eels side's just not been good. Look, I probably am thinking Eels might get the job done here. This is definitely a game that could go either way. Tigers notoriously don't play all that well at Campbelltown. Eels, I don't know. I'm going to back in the Tigers because I just think it's a good little story there. But again, I don't know. I think this will be cut straight down the middle, 50-50. I reckon Tigers get the job done just in this one. All right, next up, we got the Rabbitohs against the Roosters. Roosters might have a few injuries here. Brandon Smith, Sam Walker, Nat Butcher got ruled out of the rest of the game with a head knock, so he probably will be out as well. Jared Roberto-Hargraves obviously out. Rabbitohs also, there's a mountain of players missing for them. Let's just have a look at form over the last 10 games. Both sides have actually won 5-5, so pretty even there. Since 1998, there's been 51 games played. Roosters 32, Rabbitohs 19. So the Roosters obviously have had the wood over South Sydney. Rabbitohs have a better record at Accor Stadium, winning 57% of games. Roosters 48%. Look, you know me, I'm always going to back my team in. I'm backing the Rabbitohs in to win this one. I don't think it'll be a 13-plus game. I reckon these two teams are just going to bash each other, and I think it'll be a pretty close one, to be honest. Regardless of who's playing in these games, both these teams seem to just step up. So, I reckon Rabbitohs get it done. I'm obviously always going to say that, but I genuinely do believe it. All right, next up, we've got the Dragons against the Raiders. This game is being played at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. Dragons would need a miracle to make finals. Now they would need to win this game, and they would need the Knights and Dolphins to play off in a draw, which is probably, from what we've seen this season, that is likely. But look, Raiders have had the wood over the Dragons over the last 5 years, winning 7 of their last 9 games against the Dragons. Dragons have a 59% win record at Netstrata Jubilee. The Raiders actually have a 71% win record here, so not too bad, to be honest, there. I really do think the Dragons season's probably over. Raiders playing some good footy. I'm actually going to back in the Raiders here. The Dragons are paying $1.54. Raiders are paying $2.48. I reckon Raiders pull off an upset here and get the job done over the Dragons. All right. Bulldogs and Cowboys. These normally are pretty entertaining games. The Bulldogs have won 2 of their last 7. Cowboys obviously have won 5 of their last 7. Now, if it'll let me open this bloody app, Bulldogs coming into it, they've won 21 of 40 games against the Cowboys. It's pretty close. Like, all the stats are pretty close in this one. Bulldogs at Accor Stadium have won 54% of games, Cowboys 41%. The last time these two teams met, Cowboys won by 2 points up in North Queensland. The time before that, Bulldogs won by 1 point. So they are normally pretty close games. Bulldogs have an average winning margin against the Cowboys of 2 points. Over the last 5 years, Cowboys winning margin of 9. Bulldogs, they lost their first home game last week against Manly, so I reckon they're going to be pissed off about that loss. I think they come back and they win this one, so I am backing in the Doggies here. I think they will be too good against the Cowboys. Cowboys will be pretty disappointed with how they played against Melbourne, but I think they will turn up in this game a little bit. But yeah, I think it'll be too good here for the Doggies. I've got them winning this one. All right, Panthers and Titans. Over the last 5 years, the Panthers have won 5 of their last 5 games. Look, Titans are paying $5.75, so if you want some good value, chuck a bit of money on the Titans, but I don't see them winning this one. Titans have won 33% of games at Bluebet Stadium. Panthers have won 60%. They've played 24 games against each other. Panthers have won 17, Titans have won 7. Look, I think the writing's on the wall, unless there's mass restings, which is possible, because the Panthers have they've locked in a top 4 spot. I think the Panthers win this one, and unfortunately, I do think they win it well. All right, next up, we've got the first of the Sunday ticket, Manly Sea Eagles against the Cronulla Sharks. So, over the last 5 years, there's been 7 games played between these two sides. Manly have won 3, Cronulla have won 4. Now, since 1998, there's been 37 games played. Manly have won 24, Sharkies 13. So, Manly, tend to have the wood over the Sharks, but recently it's been more Cronulla than Manly in the win column. However, at Brookvale, Manly do tend to win 62% of games, whereas the Sharkies only win about 29%. So, look, the Sharks, I don't know, they're an interesting one. I do think that you can't really read into the loss to the Warriors too much, because a lot of that was off emotion for Shaun Johnson, in my opinion. But I'm going to go out and say Manly pull off a bit of an upset here. Now, Manly are actually the favourites in this one, which is a bit of a surprise. So that's not an upset. That's a bit crazy. But, I think Manly win this one. I think they end this season off pretty strong here with a good win over Cronulla. Now, this one is the interesting one. We have got the Newcastle Knights taking on the Dolphins. So, they've played 3 games in their history here. Knights have won 2, Dolphins have won 1. Ironically, the Knights did lose at home last season to the Dolphins. Dolphins beat them 36-20. Then the Knights beat the Dolphins twice at the Dolphins home stadium in round 23 last year and round 8 this year. Knights have a 54% win rate here. The Dolphins, it's only been 1 game, but they do have a 100% win rate at McDonald Jones Stadium. Now, look, this is seriously, this is the hard. I think this, outside of the Spoon Bowl, this is probably the hardest game to tip all weekend. I don't know who wins this one, and I think this one's going to be extremely difficult to tip for most people. I really do think this is a flip of the coin for the Knights. You know, they've made a really good push over the last few weeks to make finals, beating the Rabbitohs last week. They knocked off who they beat this week. Today it was the Titans. They beat the Titans quite well today. Only lost to the Sharkies in a close one the week before the Rabbitohs went, and they knocked off the Tigers quite easily the week before that. Dolphins, they got a win this week. It was a good win over the Broncos, but they did get flogged by the Storm last week and the Bulldogs the week before that. This is really tough. I generally do not know who to tip here. I just think I'm going to go a fairy tale finish for Wayne Bennett and say that his Dolphins make the top 8. But I do not know if I'm wrong. Look, it's not going to surprise me because I've had a horrible year of tipping. But yeah, I think the Dolphins can get the job done. All right, let's go over my tips and margins. So first game, Broncos Storm. Storm obviously 13+. Tigers 1-12 over Parramatta in the Spoon Bowl. Rabbitohs 1-12 over the Roosters. Raiders 1-12 over the Dragons. Bulldogs 1-12 over the Cowboys. Panthers 13+. Sea Eagles 1-12 and Dolphins 1-12. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for me. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, my friends, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.